Good evening, everybody.
Hi.
Hi, yeah. I spent years standing on a podium at Howard Community College and Johns Hopkins with no microphone. 30 years. Yeah, so that is why I natively sound like this. So again, thank you so very much for the introduction, Kathy, and I am delighted to be here. Quick question. How many people had an opportunity to either make phone calls or wrote postcards to Virginia? All right. All right. The great state of Virginia wishes to say thank you for making her the former capital of the Confederate. And if you have been living under a rock, which is about what it would take, you may have missed us taking our new Democratic majority out for a spin. Virginia ratified the Equal Rights Amendment. We didn't want anybody saying we, ran over it and did it really fast, so they ratified 4 times. And they finally finished on Monday. All right, now, got a little story to tell you. When the House did the first ratification, they asked me to be the closing speaker. And I was like to give the last and final argument for the DRA. They allowed us to have 10 minutes and 5 speakers. So I walk up and I'm looking at the Privileges and Elections Committee, and I'm looking at a lot of guys where, I've been speaking to them for 8 years. And I said, guys, I've done this for 8 years. This is it. Let's do this thing. And so a couple of them started kind of chuckling. And then I looked down front, and right in the front row of Privileges and Elections sat Delegate Shelley Simons, the woman who in 2017 lost when they pulled the other guy's name out of the fishbowl. And here she sat right in front of me, being able to cast a historic vote that brought the Equal Rights Amendment out of the House Privileges and Elections Committee. That is why I do this. Now, Kathy mentioned that I'm a good lobbyist. I'm not a bad. All right, I lobby for things like Social Security and just a whole lot of things, climate and voting. And in 2010, I started lobbying on removing the ratification deadline for the Equal Rights Amendment. So at this point in the House, we have 224 co-sponsors. 218 is all you need to pass. In the Senate, we have 44. 44. All right. 2 Republicans, Lisa Murkowski and Susan Collins. Okay. Ben Cardin started with them. He's like, okay, are we going to do this? Because they knew Virginia was going to ratify. And the moment we won that election, they're like, oh, damn, Virginia is going to ratify. What are we going to do now? We can always say, oh, but we really don't have 38 states. Well, now you do. So we've got 44 senators. If we were to be able to get it to the floor, there is a very, very good chance we would pass it. And now again, remember, The president does not need to sign this. This is just Congress. We don't know whether we're going to really be able to do this in 2020 or whether we're going to have to change the complexion of the Senate to do it. But the Attorney General of Virginia, Mark Herring, already is planning on going to visit the archivist to say, we have the 28th Amendment to the United States Constitution. It is the Equal Rights Amendment. And we figure after that, then the lawsuit starts. But we have been prepared for that since 2010. Yes?
Can you speak to the Democrats who have not signed up on this?
No, because I haven't paid attention.
Okay.
No. And again, I have time. When I go back to Virginia, I will probably make a visit to the Hill sometime in February. So at that point, I'm giving people a chance to sign on. Up until last month, Elizabeth Warren and Cory Booker were not.
Oh, they weren't?
They weren't. They are now.
Oh.
Okay, they are now. Because I was like, oh.
Because they're running for
Yeah. Well, yeah, I would have expected them to be like on as soon as Senator Cardin opened it up. So I don't know who is not on, but I can get them. And I've got a couple of Republicans that I can probably get. So it may very well be like what we had in the Virginia House. We had the votes to pass it, and they knew it, which is why they would never let us come to the floor. They always killed it.
Yeah.
So, interesting. Yes.
I can probably guess the answer to this, but what has the Grim Reaper, Mitch McConnell, said about bringing that to the
Yeah. He hasn't said yes. He hasn't said no. He is wisely got his finger in the wind. Yeah. Remember, he's got a lot of senators that are running for re-election, and none of them are in states where there are more men than women. Yes. So I may need to spend time with my Trump-loving Republican son and get Mitch Whisperer work. It is really useful to have a Republican in the family because I can go and I can sit with him and say, what would make you, as a Republican, support this? Now, he has been a huge supporter of the Equal Rights Amendment for years. He wasn't trying to die. Lobbied with me and everything else, and I believe he's been very, very sincere about it. So I will sit down, we will have that conversation. I will have him identify who are the Republicans that I should go and see, and we will try to add 5 Republicans to that list. I have been very, very good at getting them on legislation. All right, but what we are here to talk about tonight is 2020. This is the big one, folks. A lot of you, well, I don't know. I started doing this in 2016. I need to back up even further than that. A little bit about me. I was born in a political family in Chicago. I had 2 uncles who were aldermen in the Daily Machine. So that means, boy, do I know corrupt elections. All right. I spent a lot of my early childhood, because my father was the baby brother, in the back counting rooms when the vote would come in. And my mother told me 2 very important things about elections in Chicago. She said, number 1, if you ever decide to run for office in Chicago, be sure you get the dead vote. She said, you want to get the dead vote. She said, the living vote once, but the dead always vote. And then here's the other thing that she said, that really stuck with me. She said, there is no election run in the city of Chicago where Mayor Daley doesn't know who won before the first vote stands. So that was my entree to American politics at the age of 10. All right, now, Daley's looking real good right now. You know, where is a good corrupt politician we need? All right, anyway, we're going to be talking about 2020. How many votes are needed to win the White House? It's a number that all of you should know.
270.
There's only one number. 270. That is the only number we care about. 270. How many votes were we short in 2016?
It was like
2016, last presidential election. 39. 39 electoral votes. So that means whatever strategy we are going to have in 2020, it better produce 39 electoral votes. Otherwise, we have wasted our time. Number two, it had better win 5 new Senate seats. And we need to hold Alabama. And wouldn't be bad if we grabbed a few congressional seats while we were in there. And it's really important that we grab some state seats as well. All right, now, I'll tell you a quick story about Virginia, in case you don't really know the whole backstory on Virginia. In November of 2015, after Virginia's statewide election, when I went back and looked at the numbers, I realized there were 47 seats in the Virginia House of Delegates that had no Democratic candidate. Okay? And one of the things that my mentor, Dr. William Ferguson Fergie, told me was, if you don't have a candidate, you lose. Apparently, that's news to a lot of people. If you have a candidate, you lose. It's kind of, this equals that. And there's no, oh, we didn't have a candidate, but we won. We don't know that. So, I made up my mind that it was going to be very important in 2017 that we get some candidates. And there was a young man who came up with an idea. He came up with the Dominion Pledge, where he started getting candidates to pledge that they would not take money from Dominion Energy. Dominion Energy in Virginia is like Snidely Whiplash. They are so evil, they're almost comical. And basically, they owned the General Assembly. They had purchased it for $56 million. And he realized if we wanted to excite people to come and vote, because the Democrats are even more corrupt than the Republicans from that perspective, we needed to get candidates who said, we know that the electric bills that you pay in Virginia are among the highest in the country, and we are going to not take Dominion money so that we will be able to work together to regulate Dominion. Dominion had basically had the Senate Minority Leader, a Democrat, write a bill that released Dominion from oversight of the state corporation commission, at which point they promptly stole $700 million from the Virginia ratepayers for 3 years in a row. Okay, so as I said, they were Snidely Whiplash people. So anyway, 2017 rolls around, and 14 candidates, all who took the Dominion Pledge, win. Candidates that the Democratic Party said, go away, don't run. We don't want to waste our money on yours. Get out of here. But they ran anyway. And we had delegates, well, now he's delegate, we had Josh Cole come within 73 votes of winning the seat. And the Stafford County Registrar refused to count 165 absentee ballots, claiming they arrived on Wednesday. We had the postmaster for that particular precinct or post office saying, no, the ballots arrived on Tuesday. You didn't come pick up your mail. There were 55 absentee ballots, not absentee, provisional ballots. And they were ID provisional, so easily cured. He refused to release the names to us until Thursday evening. And people were due to come cure them by Friday noon. So we sued for that. Anyway, as you can guess, it didn't work out. Shelley Steinman's lost by 1 vote. And Larry Barnett lost by 128. So we had a number of candidates that came close. In 2018, Virginia sent 3 women to the U.S. Congress. And 2019, Virginia was kind of on the roll. All right, and you know what happened, the rest is history. We competed for 12 seats, 1 8. All right, now, let's look at where we're going. I tell you that story because don't think any state is hopeless just because of where they are. In 4 short years, we went from nothing to we are not totally as blue as California. We're pretty damn. All right, now, Texas. All right, you already know Center for Common Ground. I am based in Virginia, and we empower underrepresented voters. Now, underrepresented voters previously were a community of color voters. They were our Black voters, our Hispanic voters, our Native American voters, and our Asian voters. What we have seen in the numbers in all the states where we are looking to compete is that the 18 to 24-year-old age bracket is the most underrepresented group of voters in the world. With underrepresented meaning when they look at people in elected office, do they see themselves? When 18 to 24-year-olds look at elected offices, they do not see themselves. They see their parents and their grandparents. Talk about being underrepresented. All right? So we do run the 2 campaigns. Tonight I'm going to be talking about Reclaim Our Vote. We run another campaign, Let Me Vote, Count My Vote. Count My Vote part is we sue boards of elections for trying to cheat on counting the votes, on not properly using the election equipment that they have, all types of things like that. And this is going to be very big tonight. We are a technology company. We invent technology to empower voters. All right, now, this is going to go really fast because you don't really need to know, I'm just telling you. All right, I'm the founding board member, and the other board members haven't kicked me out yet. All right, now, Reverend Rodney Statler is with the North Carolina NAACP, Phyllis Thompson, Jesse Fryer, Center with Virginia NAACP, Dr. Gabriela Lemus is president of the Familiar Vote Hub, Bernard Simulton is president of the Alabama NAACP, there's a lot of NAACP up here. Dick Pactor is the co-founder of DemLabs. He does most of our technology, not all. Pamela Thomas is the co-founder of Progressive Voters Network. Our core team, Lisa Farino, Communications, Nirvana Nurse. We now have a Facebook page. Reclaim Our Vote on Facebook has gone live. We have a Facebook.
I don't like it.
All right. Terry Wheaton is our postcard person. Nancy Goodband, new members. We now have a new position, regional organizer. Suzanne Hutner, Aaron Fisher, and we have a campus organizer. This thing's going to go real fast. That's me. I'm a corporate trainer, I'm a lobbyist, I'm a political director, and an IT director. That means I don't need to hire anybody, I can do all jobs. Yeah, all right? And board loves it because they don't pay me for doing any of it. So I'm cheap. All right, now, we're going to get serious for a moment. The U.S. state of voting, there are 245 million age-eligible voters in the United States. 48 million of them are either inactive or they've been, I use the term deregistered. All right, I reserve the term unregistered to be used for voters who have never been registered before.
Right.
I use the term deregistered for voters who were registered and now they have been removed or purged from the voter roll, either by their county registrar or by the state. 16.6 million of those 48 million are community of color. Those are our underrepresented taxes. How many electoral votes did I send you short? 39. Texas has 38.
38.
I love Texas. I almost
I asked her about that.
Texas said no. All right, now, Texas, in a nutshell. Texas has 13 million voters, 1 million are African American, 3.2 million are Hispanic, and these are voters that they held the election tomorrow, they can go vote. All right, 276,000 are Asian, 4,200 are Native American. Texas is 34% community of color. By 2024, Texas will be a majority minority state.
All right.
Yeah. All right. Now, this number has gone down. Instead of 5.1 million deregistered
Yeah,
voters,
there's unregistered.
we're down to 5 million. 2.2 million are community of color. So that's a big lift. All right, now, what does voter suppression look like in Texas? Well, number one,
Oh my God.
we all know the infamous voter purge postcard, right?
Yeah.
Well, every 2 years, they send you a postcard to renew your voter registration. Don't return the postcard. You get moved to suspended. And then eventually, if you miss an election, you get moved to deregister. All right? Now, Texas has a strict photo ID requirement. They have no same-day registration. They have no automatic voter registration. I actually love their voter registration, online voter registration. You can start it online. You have to have a Texas driver's license or Texas ID. But they forgot to hook the two systems together, which voter requires. So you then have to print what you started online, sign it, and you have to download it, you have to print it, and you have to sign it. Oh, that's really going to happen with our older voters. All right? So Texas, for all intents and purposes, really doesn't have online voter registration. And they have voter intimidation at the polls. So Texas has cowboys and a Klan. So in my mind, that is so not a winning, well, they have racist cowboys, nothing wrong with cowboys. This is almost fair. But the racist cowboys, that's a problem.
What's your concern about photo ID requirement?
Oh, that's huge.
Oh,
Now tell me
geez.
why, because I feel like that I think a photo ID is not a bad thing. Why
All
is
right,
it
let's
bad?
think of photo ID as a work.
Yes.
Number
Tell me
one.
why.
Yes.
All right, black voters born in the South before 1970 were not born in hospitals. It was illegal. So if you are a rural black woman, there is a very good chance you have never worked outside your home in
Or
a
had a birth
job
certificate.
that required you to have an ID. Poor rural voters don't own cars, so they don't have driver's licenses. If you were not born in a hospital and you did not work somewhere where they require you to get a birth certificate, you might not have one. And then periodically, courthouses would mysteriously burn down.
Yeah.
All right, before the state started being a central repository of all that information. So it is expensive, requires a lawyer to get a birth certificate if you don't have the proper background documentation. You can't get a photo ID without a driver's license or a birth certificate, all right, or a social security card. If you never work, how do you need a social security card? And that is a very large group of people. So it's expensive, it's difficult, and rural people don't know where to go. Yes?
It's not just rural people. I was volunteering in Wisconsin, Kenosha, Wisconsin,
That's a city.
when the ID thing went in. You had to go out to the DMV to get your ID, the non-driver ID. It was 5 miles out of town. And the bus went up there at 8 o'clock in the morning, and it went up there at 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
Okay.
So let's get an ID, right?
Right. Now, in Alabama, when Alabama went full photo ID in 2015, the Alabama legislature closed every B&B in the Alabama. Wow. Yeah. Yep. Closed them all. Said it's too expensive to run these B&Bs. Like, it wasn't too expensive yesterday, but all of a sudden now there's photo ID and black folks are going to be showing up to get their free B&B ID. Shut down every B&B. Yeah, the Alabama black.
Wasn't there also a bus that went nearby but not onto like a mile away or something?
Well, they then kind of, the whole world was looking at them rough night. So they then came up with a mobile photo ID mobile. They sort of never told people where it was going to be or when it was going to be there. But eventually they were forced to open the DMV at least one day a week. So I don't know if they fixed that or not, but it's been pretty quiet, so I think they had to do that. Yeah.
Just to respond to what you said, my mom lives in Tennessee, and when she got older, they would just renew her license in the mail, but they didn't require that she come into the DMV or even have a picture. So she actually had a valid driver's license, but they were like, oh, kind of like, you're old, you don't need a picture. You know what I mean? And so she didn't even have a photo on her driver's license in Tennessee. This was just like a few years ago. So, that's not.
The work that we do, and I'm going to be really quick about this, we need a lot of partners. I always listen to DNA, people periodically say, where do you get your data? I have national access to the voter files through the NAACP, and one of our partners, Black Voters Matter, they're not up here because they're not going to Texas. I'm also a member of State Voices, so I will get State Voices data. State Voices data has more cell phones in it because progressive groups use it who gather up cell phones and email addresses. The NAACP, I'm 66, and to them, I'm young. So they do everything on paper still, so they don't get the cell numbers. So I ordered State Voices band, and I'm waiting to get access. Rapid Resist, Yoni Landau, and have lunch with Yoni tomorrow. Yoni does our texting. We're working with Move Texas, that's a organizing project to meet the million vote and vote riders on the ground. Vote riders isn't exactly on the ground, but they provide these wonderful business-sized laminated cards that tell voters this is the ID that is acceptable to vote in your state. They We want people to put them in their wallet so that if they go to vote and they present one of these IDs, and somebody says, no, you can't vote with that, there's a phone number on it. And at the other end of the line is a Andy attorney.
Is this the full extent of your partnerships, or do you work with organizations like Swing Left and Flip Blue?
We work with Swing Left. We work with Sister District. This is an older version of the presentation. I never updated all of our partners because I would probably have to throw away all the pretty stuff and just have a little bit of or you're going to do something. So it's like, we've got a lot of partners in Texas. All right, now, work we did in 2019. In 2019, and this was the first year we ever did postcards. We've never done postcards. We spent 347,000 postcards. We're going to do 1 million this year.
All right.
Text messages. We sent 114,000 text messages in the name of VA ratified ERA in 2.5 years. Those really go back. We made 90,000 voter registrations / GOP phone calls. We are going to have up that number a lot. We use postcards for voter registration. When we send postcards into rural counties, roughly 25% of the people who get our postcards register. That's a pretty darn good number. Right, and remember, we are only postcarding community of color voters. They get that one. Oh, this is interesting. How do we know this works? Because I have been yelled at and called names by so many county registrars in North Carolina. Why are all these people calling me about their voter registration? I don't know, it's their job. Yes.
Those figures, are they national or are concentrated in a few states?
2019, we did 2 states, North Carolina and Virginia. It was 2 states. That is 2019. All right, now, in Alabama, now I'm going to contrast postcards to phone banking. In Alabama in 2017, we made 43,000 phone calls in 10 days to the Alabama blackout. 85% of the people we called, whether we spoke to them or left a message, voted. 85%. 25% is nice, 85% is nothing.
Are you calling people that had been like not voting recently, or was that
Yes.
even? Okay.
Yes,
Awesome.
yes, yes. And then in Georgia, in 2018, Black Voters Matter ran the phone banks, and we made with them, it was about 155,000 phone calls. 65% of those voters voted. Now remember, Alabama was a special election. It was in December.
How were you able to know that the people that you called did show up?
Oh, it's really easy. You just look in Van. Van publishes who voted in what election. Normally, it takes 2 to 3 months to get that data. So then you simply say, I want you to match everybody that was canvassed with everybody that voted and give me a number. And then take then we're going to take a look at everybody that we called, and then we say, this is the percentage that voted. All right?
What is VAN?
VAN is the Voter Activation Network. It is the voter file. This is what we use to search on voter data. Who's unregistered, who's active, who's inactive, how much money do people make. I used to, when I taught VAN classes at the NAACP, to kind of make it fun to the women, I said, if you're ever single and you're looking for that perfect guy, just set up all your criteria right here and see. Right, yeah. We developed a new app. We developed an app that we call Give a Ride that allows us to very quickly and easily dispatch drivers to pick up riders. One of the reasons why some voters don't vote and especially as they get older, because they don't have a way to get there. All right? They're living alone, they're still okay, they no longer drive, and they may not have anybody that's close to them, or they don't want to ask somebody to give them a ride. So we developed Give a Ride. Now, this is Virginia, and this is from one of the official Virginia websites. Nearly 40% of voters statewide cast ballots in this year's 2019 General Assembly elections, up from 29% in 2015. All right, so those numbers are getting bigger. Yes?
Why is it that we don't push all the time mailer ballots? What's the deal? Is it
Oh.
everywhere?
No, good God,
So
no.
why are we
Oh.
having problems still with older people not getting rides if we don't just sign up mail ballots?
Okay, they don't count mail-in ballots. I was working with some folks who lived in Wisconsin, who said, we were talking about mail-in ballots, and they said, please do not ever try to go entirely vote by mail. People who live in Wisconsin, if their last name's Hernandez or Lopez, you will get your ballot in December. Remember, voter suppression states have the ability to manipulate the mail because they are the ones sending out the ballot. You folks obviously haven't seen the movie Suppressed, where we had all those folks who requested mail-in ballots and never got them. So mail-in ballots are very dangerous in red states. They're great in blue states. You're going to ask for your ballot, you're going to get it. Red states, you're going to ask for your ballot, it's a crapshoot.
I was actually interested in this here by Utah. Okay? And we didn't.
Mormons are honest.
But.
They're honest-ish.
Our Lieutenant Governor did a lot of gerrymandering, let me tell you.
All right, all right.
But I'll tell you, because I worked on the end of where you're at the place where they bring ballots and everything.
Yes.
And I actually worked there for that one season to see what happens on that end.
Right.
Smooth run machine. The reason is the person who's in charge of the whole system is a Democrat.
Well, right, and again, if you've got a Democrat in charge of the machinery,
Reporter.
okay, right,
That's what reporter is.
right, yeah, this is not gonna work in Georgia. Mail in, does not work in Georgia.
But
But
it's
Brian
true.
Kemp has his feet on the election.
If they didn't come, we already had told people, because, we get in the newspaper, that if you don't get your ballot by this time, go and vote. So people knew. I didn't get my ballot, they're on to, okay, we're going to go to the next run, but the next run's not gonna make it.
Right.
Because, that's what you're saying, like Hernandez loses and Hernandez, then the
Right.
run cuts, right? That's what you're talking about.
But this is state law. Some states, the law is, if you are on the books for a mail-in ballot,
Yeah.
you will not and cannot get a regular ballot.
No way.
They will vote you provisional.
You always do provisional.
But they frequently don't count provisionals. In the Pennsylvania election, I forget whether it was 16 or 9 or 18, they found 900 mail-in ballots thrown in the back of a closet. So you have to be very careful about mail. All right, with that, all right, in Texas, we've got one U.S. Senate seat. They've got 36 House seats. 4 are open because 4 of those districts, well, there's basically 9 districts. Those districts are literally changing right in front of everybody's eyes. They're getting younger. They're getting more educated. And they like their kids and don't want them shot in school. So this is kind of contrary to Texans' belief that everybody should have a gun. In the Texas State Senate, 16 seats, 1 is open. The Texas State House, there's 150 seats, 8 are open. So we've got 61, 99, the seats that are up for election, 6, 9. So actually that really is it. They're down 3 seats. and then this is open. So the Texas State House or Senate could theoretically be in play. All right, now, we're not gonna spend a lot of time on these slides. These are the Democratic candidates. I want you to look at who's running, okay? These are the Dems, you know, black guy rocking the cowboy hat. All right, and we got more Dems. All right, some, there they are. All right, yeah, we got some where couldn't find a picture of them anywhere. They must be scared. All right, and then we got the Republicans. It's all the same guy. Well, all right, thank you for John Castro. You know, look, we can be diverse.
Some have hair, some don't.
We find diversity where we can. All right, and then you've got the other candidates. We're going, whoa. All right, now, our goal. When we did Alabama, the goal was to increase the vote in our selected counties by 20%. We actually increased the vote on average 35%. All right? So in Texas, this is what 20% would look like. Right now, remember, there's a million African Americans that could vote if we held the election tomorrow. In 2018, 535,000 of them voted. In 2016, 583,000 voted. All right, we got a little more than half. The goal in 2020 was 700,000 on the African American side, getting them to turn out and vote. On the Hispanic side, remember there are 3 million Hispanic voters. That gets wild and crazy in Texas, but they got the numbers. 1.4 million, that's 1.5 million voted in 2018, 1.6 million voted in 2016. Using a presidential year, we are at almost 1.9 million. I mean, presidential years always get a lift turnout because some people are only presidential year voters. I always want to grab those people and shake them.
Yeah.
All
Us
right.
Asians, man, we vote all the time.
That's right. You are good. You rockin'. Yeah. Yeah. They're like, all right, not like I'm going to let them steal my vote from me. I'm coming out there. So, yeah. All right. Then. Again, I love my numbers. Here are the 9 congressional seats that we are going for. All right? Now, these happen to be the 9 congressional districts where Beto got at least 44% of the vote. All right, now, when I analyze these districts, Beto got 44% of the vote or more. He also left more than 50% of the community of color vote on the table. So that says there are more voters to turn out here. We got voters. I mean, if we didn't have any voters, if he got everybody out and that was as good as he could do, as I did. But that's what he did, and there were a lot more voters that were still available. All right, now. Okay. I love this census work. All right? Now, look at the median income. These districts have changed. They're oil districts. They're oil and gas industry districts. They used to be the hard hatters and the wild hatters. And all of a sudden now, they are college-educated, high-tech people. All right? These are counties near Dallas and Houston, not really in the city proper, because the younger families can't afford to live in the city proper. So they begin spreading out, and what used to be very rural is suddenly now turning into upper middle class educated people. And like I said, they like their kids and don't want them out of school. All right. All right, now, gonna make you wanna commit suicide. Okay, all right. It hurts me to talk about this. I want you to look at the 18 to 24-year-old column, all right? Out of 18,000 voters, 756 voted in a primary that had, I forget what that was, I can't remember whether he's a millennial or whatever the hell he is, all right? They didn't turn out and vote in a primary for somebody who could be their older brother. We weren't asking them to vote for their, parents or their grandparents. We were asking them to vote for somebody that could have been their older brother. These numbers are gut-wrenching. All right, but I want you to look at the population. 18,000, 20,000, 26,000. All right? This district is turning young. The oldsters are moving, selling out, going into the home, and just plain dying. They are. They are. Look at these numbers, and then look at these. We have got to, must, come up with a way to break through to these people, because in the 2024 election, they will decide. We are the last Medicare generation that will decide a presidential election. Okay? We've got to get these kids to step up, step out, and vote. So,
the 25 wasn't so good either.
no, the 25 was pretty sucky. So we're looking at the 18 to 40 range. These are the digital kids, 18 to 40. We are going to need to engage. What worked on their parents and their grandparents obviously ain't working on them. We can look at the numbers and we're seeing. Okay, now, the numbers I was showing you were primary numbers. And they didn't do that much better in the county. All right, here, it didn't get better. All right, now, campus outreach. We are going to call them. We are going to geofence and send them mobile ads. And then we are going to provide them with a voting social media platform where they can tell their friends every voting action that they take. They want to share it. I'm glad you asked. Geofencing, as I said, we are a technology company. Geofencing is, now, you know how the 18 to 40-year-olds are looking for mobile devices and would marry them. So what we're going to do is, geofencing says we find mobile devices, and then we send mobile ads to them, and we communicate through the mobile device. They may not answer their phone, but when they get a ding that somebody has sent them a picture on their phone, they have to go look at it. So, we can geofence by Wi-Fi. We are going to geofence every university, college, community college in the great state of Texas. How do we do that? That means that I sit there and look up the address of every college and university, send it over to my board member who finds the Wi-Fi server at the college. And then we locate every device that is connected to that Wi-Fi server. And then we start sending messages to them. It's not hacking, but it's perfectly legal.
How do you locate?
I have no idea, and I don't care. All right, I do not ask you to hack what he does. It comes in handy having a retired Google engineer on your board. Yes?
So all of this analysis of the vote in different districts and stuff, aren't the candidates looking for those success voters too?
No,
Why?
they're not. running for office, or even if they do, you're already elected. So you just keep out of habit doing what you've always done. The Democratic Party has a list of people that they recommend to run campaigns, and they cost a bloody fortune. These folks, most of them are older white men who are still running elections the way they ran them in the Clinton age. There's no social media, and they want the sure thing. They are not going to try to build more voters by registering voters. That is not what they do. They are not going to call the 0 for 3 voters like we do, the 1 for 3 voters like we do. They're going to call the 3 for 3 voters. That's not enough to win anything. If it was, you would have won before. You know, could we get a new idea? The reason we call our campaign Reclaim Our Vote is, when I look at a lot of these elections that we lost, I'm looking at the Democratic / progressive vote, and it's just not big enough by itself. And then I look and I discover what's missing is the community of color vote. If we take our vote and we add the community of color vote, that gets big enough to win an election. All right? Hence why we call our campaign Reclaim Our Vote. It's not reclaiming their vote. It's reclaiming our vote. That's exactly what I did in Alabama. While the party and every progressive group in the world was in Birmingham and Huntsville, easy to canvass the big cities. Okay, I had been in Selma in 2015. I drove through the Black Belt going home. I knew what the Black Belt was and where it was. So I called my friends in Huntsville and in Birmingham. Have you gotten any calls about the Doug Jones race? If I get another call, I'm ripping my phone out of the wall. And then I called my friend in Montgomery. Montgomery's the capital of Alabama. Have you gotten any calls? No. But you're in the capital. He's like, yeah. What's your point? He's like, nobody calls us. Yeah. I was like, okay, we're going through the Black Belt. And we went.
On the millennials and Facebook, like my kids are millennials. They don't do Facebook anymore. They think it's for old people.
Right.
Away
And
from Facebook.
we don't use Facebook. We use the mobile device. We do not use
So you
Facebook.
don't do social media, I thought.
We use specialized voting social media that we control. We aren't using Facebook. Now they can sign in with Facebook if they want, but it ain't Facebook. All right, now, we can also geofence an event. In Virginia, we had a huge college game between 2 HBCUs. So that meant probably 90% of the people in those stands lived in Virginia. Geofencing by event hit every cell phone that was turned on. Everybody's got their cell phone on because they're trying to get pictures of stuff that happens on the game. So we hit every mobile device that was turned on with an ad. And in the ad, we suggested that they join Black Voters Now. All right? And then we can also take a collection of addresses. We can locate every mobile device. We have to listen for 7 to 10 days to find what devices are consistently at that address. Those are people that live there as opposed to our visitor. All right? This is all perfectly legal because we are not using their phone number. It is illegal to use the number. Not, you know, when you buy your phone, there's that incredible long number on the back of your device, your EICN. That is like your phone's social security number. There are no laws about using that.
How does an ad pop up exactly? Like,
I don't know. Don't care. They're not sending that stuff to me because I'm never in any of those places. Yes.
Okay, so your organization
Yes.
has a huge database, or is it using the Democrat Party
No.
advanced system database to do this?
Well, okay. It
Because
is
when you talk
legal.
about the event thing, I know exactly what you're talking about, because we did it for the march. We got
Right.
10,000 women at
Yes.
Chapel
Yes.
in
Yes.
Utah,
Yes.
and we did that. And we were
Right.
all out there, we said, just punch this number and put this, and we got
Right.
them all. And we
Yes.
kept sending things all
Yes.
the time,
Yes.
bills and
Yes.
stuff.
It is
So I'm asking
illegal,
what
it
you're
is
doing.
illegal for me to, as a 501c3 or my C4 side, to coordinate with the Democratic Party.
Okay, so
I do
coordinate.
not use the Democratic Party's name.
Okay, so
I
coordinate.
use State Voices
Okay.
and the NAACP. Everything that I do is nonpartisan. I'm just very particular about who I vote.
Are you going to get out and vote too? Get out and vote? That's a system that does, registers people and stuff like that. Are you,
No, we do our own.
okay,
We do our own.
okay.
Yes, sir. Oh, and then in the back. Gentlemen,
Are your
and then in the
activities
back.
concentrated in particular areas, like you said, the black belt or whatever it is, or
Yes.
do you have this process going on across the country?
Number one, we only do this in states where we are working. Number two, we will only do, what we're going to do, we're looking at making 18 to 24-year-olds, as I said, underrepresented voters. So that means we're not going to worry about race when we're talking about 18 to 24-year-olds. We're going to worry about strictly age. They are our new digital millennials. They care about climate and a lot of other things that are on the progressive leaning issues. So that's who we work with. I had somebody all the way in the back of the room. Oh, ready for your question.
Oh, sorry. Do we know how to walk up? Do we know how to walk up? Yeah, we do. The question I had is, the other day I was watching, I don't know, a news show, and the guy that's running against Lindsey Graham was on, and they were interviewing him. And
Jamie Harrison.
Jamie Harrison, thank you. And he was saying that in North Carolina, there are,
In South Carolina.
South Carolina, there are 400,000 African-American voters that have been deregistered. Are you
Yes.
working in South Carolina?
No,
No.
nope.
Oh,
They
okay.
don't have enough electoral votes.
Oh, okay,
Okay.
so you're really.
In order for me to go into a state, my board requires, number one, that the community of color voters be at least 20%. Arizona just made. They also, for 2020, we are looking at, there must be a Senate race. That's why we're not going to Florida, Ohio, or Pennsylvania. Cliff is, I know. We also require 9 electoral votes. South Carolina does not make that criteria. They do not have enough electoral votes. So if we spread ourselves too thin in too many states, we can't concentrate on the behemoth that is Texas. That's like 5 Virginias in one place.
Right.
What's nice about Texas is once you learn their voter suppression rules, it's pretty much true for the whole damn state. It's really big, all right? But it doesn't keep changing. This is the sample ad that we use in North Carolina, all right? Black voters matter, our votes decide elections, and elections have consequences. Increased power in our communities, help determine our own destiny. Vote September 10th. That was that special election. Yes.
If you had more resources, could you extend your reach, or do you want to keep it relatively tight?
We are always going to hold it tight. When you see our slides, one of the later slides, you will see that while we need 39 electoral votes, we're going for more than 100. Yeah. So again, we need big states. Yes?
Clarification question. So the Reclaim Our Vote is a campaign?
Yes,
And
it's
when you
not an
say-
organization.
Yeah, so when you say "we," is it inclusive of all of the partners that
Yes.
have been listed?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, a lot of the we'ves are, the states that I've selected, that is really Reclaim Our Vote. Black Voters Matter is going to Ohio and Pennsylvania. They will not join me in Texas. They're also going to Florida. Okay? So they are doing other states, just like we partner with Swing Left and Sister District. So we have a set of core states where we're all there. And then there are other states where different collections of organizations are working in those states. So yes.
Can you name those core states again?
I haven't even told you who they are.
Okay.
So I have a final slide where they'll be listed on this slide. And then there'll be one where it's like, we don't know about that one.
Okay.
All right?
Thank you.
All right? Okay. So loving this. All right, now, when they click on the ad, they were given the opportunity to sign up for Motivote. Motivote is basically, think of it as social media, social networking for women. All right? It's not Facebook. And right, and we go, oh God, what? But, look at this. Team actions, invite friends. Motivote, check your polling place, verify you voted, check out who's on your ballot. Let's get to know you, and you get points. And when you get points, you get to trade your points in for cool stuff. Individual colleges can create teams where the members on the team can compete with themselves or other teams. All right? 18 to 40. There's like, and now, what if I, yeah, all right, vote. All right, now, vote. That's for campuses. Campuses all have Wi-Fi. Even if they had to bring it in, whatever they had to do, college campuses have Wi-Fi. Now, when we get out to rural America, and I live in rural America, we're going to phone bank, we're going to do postcards, we're doing that right now, and we learned a hell of a lot about billboards. When you live out in the middle of nowhere, and you're driving down that country road, absolutely nothing to see. When there is this big 36-foot by 10-foot billboard, you kind of notice it. All right, you're like, what? Oh God, yes, they're expensive. All right, now, we also prefer digital billboards. Let me tell you the story about this. When we were calling North Carolina 3, the congressman was Walter Jones. Walter Jones was a Republican. I knew Walter Jones. I cried when Walter Jones died. I don't cry when anything happened. But Walter Jones, that got me. Because as I said, as a lobbyist, Walter Jones was always on my list of Republicans I was going to talk to about legislation and getting him on. And Walter Jones would either say, no, you know I'm not going to do that, or yes, thank you for bringing that to my attention. Yeah. And he would get on. The people in Walter Jones' district really liked Walter Jones because he was a decent guy. He was an old-fashioned Republican before they went crazy. Okay? All right? And so when we were calling into North Carolina 3, people were going, are you sure there's an election? You know, I'm going, yeah, there's no good thing, there's an election. And then we asked one person, why are you saying that? He said, there's no television ads, there's no radio ads. And he thought about it, he said, there's not even any advertisements. So then I immediately pulled the FEC reports. There had been a bruising primary with 17 candidates. The Democrat and the Republican were broadcast. Neither one of them had any money. That's why there were no television ads, no radio ads, no damn ads. So I was like, all right, we're dealing with an election and nobody even knows a thing is still. So, Suzanne Hutner put me in touch with people on the ground in North Carolina 3. I said, I need you to go find locations where I can put billboards and everybody can see them. So they came back and I said, I need you to find a company that owns those billboards. Turns out all the billboards were owned by Lamar. These are digital billboards. Why is that important? It takes 10 days to produce the art, climb up on the ladder, paste the paper up there on a billboard. digital billboard can go up in 4 hours. So we were in business. We had less than 30 days to build this collection. So I bought 6 digital billboards. They ranged from $1,100 to $1,500 a piece. Now, a digital billboard, you actually have 4 screens. So your message can change. North Carolina has early voting. So where people voted during early voting and when it was open was entirely different from where they were going to vote on election day. And so we were able to push Voting Guide, Black Voters Matter Civic Engine. So I had one ad where it was Reclaim Our Vote, and then Cliff bought one of the billboards and it said Black Voters Matter. So Texas has Houston and Dallas and Austin and I'm getting the one that's down south and a couple of other cities. San Antonio, Austin, El Paso. Otherwise, in between all that is rural. So, billboards. Or, billboards. We put our message out.
For that amount of money, how long of a period of time before you were able to have that?
1 month. It's a month. It's a month. But how many canvassers, and again, they'll tell you, 48,000 pair of eyes are going to see this billboard. 32,000 pair of eyes are going to see this billboard. I wouldn't be able to get that many pairs of eyes on something for $1,000 a month other than a billboard. And again, the thing's standing there 24/7. So, billboards. And then this is just a real quick, this is our app, Give a Ride. So, all those people, those are riders. When the driver clicks on the rider's name, a little screen pops up with a link to a Google map. They press the button, they get turn-by-turn directions on how to go to the voter's house. All right, when they're looking at the voter information down at the bottom of the screen, there's another item that says this is where this voter votes. When they click on that, it gives them turn-by-turn directions on how to get to the voter's house, the voter's polling location. Our drivers have to pick people up, take them to vote, wait, and bring them back. We also, because in most states, if you have a disabled rider, you can ask to have the voting brought to the vehicle. So we have it when we talk to the rider, and a lot of people will say, I'm disabled, and then we'll say, would you like us to have the ballot brought to the vehicle? You can do that? Yeah, we can do that. So we check that, and it's literally an app that sits on their phone. And then when they're all done, they indicate this particular passenger has been dropped off, and it removes that passenger from the list. Yes. All right? We invented that. Why am I inventing that? How many years has the Democratic Party been in business allegedly giving people rights to the polls? All right? So it's like, it falls to me. Right, it's Uber for voting. All right? Yeah. Free Uber for voting. It's free. All right? And I am an Uber and a Lyft corporate client. If I can't get a driver, I will Uber it or Lyft it. And I am a corporate client. They don't want me on their ass. It will get a... All right, now, this is what we're looking at. We're looking at going back to Alabama. We won there in 2017. Alabama will give us 9 electoral votes. Arizona has 11. We won there in 2018. North Carolina has 15. We didn't win there, but from what I saw going on in North Carolina 9, they kind of forgot to go and visit the local Indian tribe, the Lumbee. They forgot about the Lumbee. There's 28,000 of them. They forgot them. They also didn't win a single majority African American county. They forgot about them. Everybody stayed in Charlotte. You're not winning any elections staying in the city. You need urban and rural together. We go do the rural. We see the urban to the candidates and the parties. We'll let you do the easy part. We're gonna do the hard part. All right? Mississippi. Turn that off because we're gonna say a bad word. We don't want to frighten the children. All right. Mississippi is my vengeful bitch man. All right. Now, why do I say that? All right, remember 2010 when the Republicans went right at the heart of the Rust Belt, took the Rust Belt away from us? All right, Mississippi is payback. Put a black man in the United States Senate, the great state of Mississippi.
Yeah.
Give them heartburn, ears. That's it, that's my vengeful bitch. All right, now, we've already talked about Texas and 38 electoral votes. Cliff Albright, one of the co-founders of Black Voters Matter, lives in Georgia. The Black Mayors Association of rural Georgia is begging me to come into Georgia. And I said, okay, number one, get me a real Senate candidate. You have 2 open seats and you have 0 real candidates. So go get me a real candidate. Okay? Okay? Stacy's not about to run for this. No. Stacy's busy on booking a movie deal. She's not out. No, she's busy. She's not taking this up. I mean, you know, it's like somebody talked to John Lewis. John Lewis, wouldn't you like to, you know, at some point when you finally die as senator? You know, why are you being a representative? They could get John Lewis. I'd be in Georgia in a heartbeat. So it's like, you gotta come up with a real candidate. I can't win with what you got. Because the best and most well-known candidate they have is John Ossoff. And people are still saying, does he really live in Georgia? That cannot be the first words out of people's mouths when they're looking at your Senate candidate. Does he really live in Georgia? No, you'll get me a real candidate. Somebody that knows they live in Georgia. Now, in the event I were to do Georgia, we're talking 133 electoral votes. In the event that I don't do Georgia, all we need to do is pull 16 out, and we're still well over our 39 that we need. So I have a plan, and I have a backup. We have a lot of different roads to make it to Rome. Okay, it's just a couple more slides. Alabama, 29%, community of color, 32%, the voters to be registered. North Carolina, oops, that should be 15, not 16. 28% community of color, 38% of their electorate to register. We're working on that. Arizona just made it, 21%, 33% are deregistered. And Mississippi is the shocker. Only 24% of their electorate has been deregistered. Mississippi has the lowest number of deregistered voters in the Black Belt, consistently under 20 of any voter suppression state. So, you know, what are you doing in Mississippi? We need to do this in other states. All right? So, these are our states, and then Georgia. Georgia is 38% community of color. We should be able to run through Georgia with our eyes closed. But we need to win 64% of the vote in order to win Georgia. Georgia just bought the most hackable voting machine in the world, knowing they were hackable at what it was. And conventional wisdom says when you're stealing votes and vote flipping, you can only flip 15% of the vote. That's why I know I think 65% win in Georgia. None of the laws have changed because Brian Kemp still has both hands and both feet on the levers in Georgia. We can register voters all day long. He won't process the registration. There is nothing in Georgia law that says when you get a voter registration, you must process within X. So we can get a voter registration and start the process in December, and there's not a damn thing we can do about it. Because Georgia law just basically allows them to do whatever they want. Elections. Well, it's, you know, I figure out what Georgia is because people always want to ask me about Georgia. And so that's it. That's my presentation. From the gentleman there.
Yeah, two. One is, how big a chip are you going to have if you meet the goals that you're shooting for as far as the Democratic Party is concerned? And secondly, will you be able to push and leverage if you get at least the two houses of Congress to push for a nationwide Voting Rights Act?
Yes, I can get certain members of Congress to push for a nationwide Voting Rights Act. Mark Buchanan of Wisconsin has a piece of legislation, the constitutional right to vote. Voting in the United States is a privilege. It is not a right. It has never been a right. It has always been a privilege. When this country was founded, the 1% of their day, rich, white, land-owning men were the only people who could vote. They gradually expanded the franchise through constitutional amendment. But they never went back and said, it is the constitutional right of all Americans to be able to vote. So since it is not a right and it is a privilege, that privilege is very easily revoked. Plus, if we made it a constitutional amendment, federal law trumps state law. Yes. So in the 60s, when they were doing the work on the Civil Rights Act, they shouldn't have stopped. They needed to go all the way to the Constitution, like the women and the Equal Rights Amendment. Yes.
Can I just give a tiny anecdote about Georgia? My son's applying to graduate school, and before Kemp won, there was just a normal college graduate school application. Weeks after he won, there's now a we do not accept DACA candidates, and oh, by the way, you have to scan and submit your passport to prove your citizenship to apply to graduate school at Georgia Tech. So elections matter in all kinds of ways that we don't even see. It was appalling. I literally almost didn't want to help him apply to graduate school there after that. I just want to say no, except maybe he should go move there. I don't know.
Wow. Yes.
Is there any study, are there any studies that whether the postmark matters on postcards?
Oh, there's no official studies, but we ask voters, and we know the postmark does not matter. And we also know that when you are phone banking, people really don't care that you're calling from California, nor do they really care that you are not African American or Hispanic. All right, another quick story. Bernard Simonson, president of the Alabama NAACP, taking an elderly aunt to church in the Alabama Black Belt. He's going to get some tea, and the little old ladies are standing around, and all of a sudden his aunt goes, "Did the white people call you?" He is appalled. And she goes, "The white people called me. They told me I was an important voter. And then they asked me if I plan to vote. Yes, I have never missed an election. I do plan to vote. Then they wanted to know, did I have my photo ID? And I assured them I knew all about photo ID, and I had my photo ID. And then they wanted to know, did I need a free ride to the polls? And I assured them I had a way to get to the polls. So, and she looks around the group, have white people called you yet? It's a weird dynamic of the Deep South. That, and here's my explanation of it. Voting is like the community dance. Everybody knows where it is. Everybody knows when it is. There's just some people who feel they're not invited. When to go, but since you called and asked, I guess I will. Yes, yes, and then yes.
Okay, just quick, a lot of us here do some phone banking and texting and writing postcards and letters, Swing Left, some of the other groups. So why are you out here? Are you looking for us? I mean, do we keep working with our groups? Are you looking for?
Well, you keep working with everybody that you want to work with. I am out here to raise volunteers and to raise money because we are not grant funded. Nobody, well, we got a lot of little grants, all right? But in the world of grants, they don't care that you've been successful. They want you to have a team of grant writers. Well, my grant writer is my daughter. I mean, look at that wonderful name you got. Go away with that. Yes, I used to be part of the C3 DNC table with partners. And I remember them talking the day after the Alabama election about all the money that they put into Alabama. So when I got home, I called Cliff. Did you get any money for Alabama? No. Do you know anybody that got any money? No. So they are not going to invest money in a small operation, regardless of how successful we get. But I'm going to do the work anyway. I don't care. I care about the work. I'm not doing it for money.
So a couple of questions, and one is sort of, I guess, an intellectual exercise. The first part is on your partnership with all of the organizations that you
Yes.
list. So let's take Texas, for example. You listed Mi Familia Boda,
Yes.
Texas
Yes.
Top, and all that.
Right.
So, like, how do you coordinate with each other? Who's going to do what in what county, what neighborhoods, and this and that? So that's the first set of questions.
The coordination isn't that tight. We talk with each other, and it's mainly about where do you need help, where are you not working? Where are the gaps? We fill gaps. So we want to know where all the partners are working so we can go somewhere else. So that's mainly what we do with partners, because some of the partners we can talk to, but we can't really coordinate with, okay? Because we do election work as a 501c3.
And then on the funding side, currently, where are you getting the money from, even if it's a little?
Events like this,
Okay.
mostly.
And what's your budget?
Our budget this year, our budget last year was $12,000, because that's what we had. All right, to do North Carolina and Virginia, our budget was $12,000. Actually, sorry, our budget was $24,000 because we did, we hired a team of Black seniors in Petersburg to man the Virginia phone bank. So our budget last year was $25,000. Our budget this year needs to approach $250,000 to support the billboards. Motivate is $500 per month per state.
And that's for the campaign, the Reclaim Our Vote
Yes,
campaign.
that is for
$200,000.
reclaim our vote. Yes, yes. I gave a proposal to a number of groups where I was going to work in 16 states and basically do a local on-the-ground reclaim our vote for $1.6 million. And they were like, get out of here with that. The DNC and the partners and other groups that we approach can't do one state for $1.6 million. We were going to do 16.
I don't understand, is the DNC board, are they not, are they, because you're filling the gaps in your smaller organization, they're doing the bigger ones, like you said, the bigger cities, and they know that black vote is important, they know this is happening, why aren't they devoting most of the money? And I had a problem in Utah with them not devoting any money to my Democrat candidates, and then you say people don't want to run, well, excuse me, people can't take it out of their pocket.
Right. Abigail Spanberger, I know her parents. I'm really good friends with her mom. My partner is really good friends with her Abigail Spanberger, her dad, said, if Abigail raises $1 million, do you think the party will help? No. And so he came back, it's like, Abigail raises $3 million, do you think the party will help? No. Abigail raised $7.5 million, party will help. And their focus has always been incumbent protection, and they will identify a couple of races, red and blue. In Virginia, they came in on 4 races. Luckily, they won all 4. That was exactly what they needed to take the Senate and the House. We came in on 12 races and won 8. No money. I spent $12,000 on Virginia, $12,000 on North Carolina. That was all I had. Yes.
You were talking about geofencing.
Yes.
And I just recently read an article, it's the first time I heard that term. But it was in the context of the Democratic Party officials are scared because the Republicans are so far ahead right now in
Right.
technology.
Right.
And I mentioned geofencing
Right.
specifically
Right.
as something that they are sophisticated in
Right.
using.
Right, right, right. And so am I. Or, and so is my board member. So yes, yes. One of the things that we realized was in 2010 and then again in 2014, the Republicans hit us with technology and we never responded. Well, baby, we responded now. So anything that I need invented, I got a Google engineer on my board. He can't invent it. He knows people who can. Yes.
We've been doing phone banking friends for many, many elections, and in 2016, we were all very frustrated, feeling like no one was answering the phone.
They don't need it. That's why we need messages.
Good. That's what. Yes.
Yeah.
But I was wondering if there was a way, a technology that would allow individual volunteers to have organizations' cell phone ID, so that when we're calling, we're coming across as a movement, whatever it would be, instead of just some caller in there.
That would cost a lot of money, which I don't have. We
Yeah.
phone bank using free technology.
Yeah.
Now, State Voices allowed me to use their power dialer because I was the first one willing to try it. Otherwise, power dialer is 1.6 cents per call. Okay? Yeah. So when you look at the number of calls we make, that's a lot of money that I don't have. Because whatever the organization doesn't have, I just come up with it out of my pocket. I just think. Yes.
You mentioned North Carolina and also college campuses.
Yes.
A couple years ago, there was a famous, well-known case of changing the polling locations that the college had done there. It was a primarily black college, I think, as I recall.
Yes.
And it had to go all the way miles across town.
Yes.
Did you get involved in that kind of thing?
Yes.
Advice to polls and all that?
Yes, that's what we do. We invented Give a Ride.
Okay.
Now, Virginia, 66. The 2 largest African-American precincts, I'm loading all the precincts under Give a Ride. And I'm going 301. That's at Ettrick Elementary School. But I'm looking at it and something says the Chesterfield County website, I used to live there, 3rd largest county in Virginia. It says that polling location is now at Virginia State University. And then I happen to, out of the corner of my eye, see another polling location is at the Indian Cultural Center. And I'm going, that used to always be at the Baptist Church. So I get on the phone and I call the Virginia State Board of Elections. I call my buddy Gary Ellis. And their attitude is always, okay, does she want something or is she calling to tell us she's going to see? And so I said, Gary, who controls precincts? Is it you or is it the county? And he said, it's the county. And that was when I realized the van was wrong. and I knew it was wrong on 3 precincts in one county, because I knew that county. So I said, Gary, I need the Excel sheet of every precinct in the Commonwealth of Virginia. I need what you've got under the Virginia Find Your Polling Location website. And he was like, okay, doesn't sound like she's serious. He's like, okay, I'm going to send you a link and you can go download it. So I downloaded it, I sent it to State Voices. Meanwhile, I call my board member, and he calls NGP Dan to say, we have identified that we've got wrong polling locations. And you know what they told us? Polling locations are not their responsibility. That is the responsibility of the administrator. So I'm like, so if the administrator doesn't know that the polling locations have moved, then we have people telling everybody the wrong polling location. And they're like, yeah. So I got them uploaded to State Voices, and I sent it to the NAACP. And I had someone who was working with the party, I called them and said the party needs to call the state because polling locations have really started shifting. And they wanted to know how I knew and who was I to tell them that the polling locations were wrong, and and for up to 3 days before the elections, they were giving people wrong polling locations.
I wonder if it's chaos.
Yes.
Just one more thought.
All right.
The automatic voter registration, I wanted to hear your thoughts about, I hear that there are some advantages and disadvantages to, I guess, getting that voted in. So I wanted to hear your thoughts.
I am a very strong believer in automatic voter registration, meaning that if you can take a picture of my license plate and you can figure out where to send the ticket, you probably have got a bunch of stuff that shows you where I live, because there's a lot of bills that are generated by the county. So the county's got all kinds of tax stuff. If I'm paying taxes, you can easily check, am I really living there? So I really love the notion of automatic voter registration, especially in states. I like the idea of same-day registration better,
Yes.
because that was actually more important. Because what if you move into a new county, you were really busy, you've got kids, you're working 2 jobs, it doesn't occur to you, oh, I need to go down to DMV and change my registration, or you don't have a car, so you've got no reason to go to DMV, but you want to vote. And then you show up on election day and, ouch, can't vote. So that's why same-day registration is important. I forgot to officially change my address, but there's been some kind of interaction with the state where they know I'm not there anymore, and now they're going, you're not on this polling book. So same-day registration is important. Let me register and then let me vote. North Carolina has that, but only for early voting. Most southern states don't have that at all. Okay, yes, and then yes.
Can you talk a little bit about text banking? I think you mentioned that on one of your early slides.
Yes. I don't know that we're going to do text banking this year. We're going to be spending a lot of money on geofencing and Motivate. I'm going to let Yoni run the text banks. Yoni has raised a lot of money to buy cell numbers where he doesn't have them, and to pay for the text. So there will be text banking, but it will be through rapid resists. I don't know that I'm really going to make the investment. Last year in Virginia, VA ratified ERA, they bought 100,000 tax. They were like, we want a tax. I was like, well, it costs X. And they're like, okay, we want 100,000 of them. And they wrote a check. Yes?
In 2008, because people would carry the clipboards in with them, and they'd come out and give us a few clipboards back. And pretty soon they said, will you please come in and help us?
All right,
And they're
good.
needing it because
Yes.
they're, same-day registration is so important
Right.
for big things, and they finally got it through their head. We were helping them.
Right, right, right. Yes, yes. I will always probably have a very odd relationship with Virginia State Board of Elections. I'm trying to be nice and not stupid this year. Yes.
So naive, question probably, but when Democratic presidential candidates, since the Democratic Party is not giving you any money, the candidates, can they?
No, no, I cannot coordinate with political campaigns or a political party. I am non-partisan. So we provide services to voters. Are you going to vote? Do you have your photo ID? If you don't have your photo ID, we have people who will help you get them. Like in Texas, students at Texas universities cannot use their Texas student ID to vote. And if they're out of state, the Texas ID is not free for them. So we have people who will pay to get the student's ID. Yes?
Yeah, so what do people that are not living in fourth year college, if they're living at that changing their mind, they can't do that then?
Well, again, college is expensive.
Well, that's actually not really supposed to be the case, they do that. I've had
No,
that
my
happen.
daughter's registered in California, which goes to school. She both by me in California.
Oh, by mail.
Right.
Okay.
But again, many students, and we do huge drives on college campuses to get the out-of-state students to register in Virginia and vote in Virginia, because they do live in Virginia for roughly 8 months of the year.
But you said that they're not allowed to use their college ID as a form of ID.
That is correct in
They go get
Texas.
a license, get an ID card from that state.
That is correct.
And that's
that
free
to keep them
residency
from
being
voting
college
twice?
students.
Like vote by
That
mail?
just basically,
I mean, that's why they don't do the college, I'm wondering, what's the reasoning behind it?
Because college students are Democratic voters.
Yeah.
But she said her daughter, what would keep her from voting in two places?
Oh, they would.
Oh, that's a good question.
And that's what I'm wondering, it's a legitimate question, what
Well,
would
first
keep
of all,
a
it's against the
student?
law. She can-
Yeah, that's,
It's against the law.
that is a felony.
Yeah.
Voting in multiple places is a felony, and it really doesn't happen.
And it doesn't make
You
any
don't get it for
difference
voting.
either.
We're right, I mean, they don't vote no, so let alone, but multiple times, multiple states, that's really too much. But when you, in Texas, as I said, the students have to have a Texas state ID.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, isn't that hard to do, like, say for instance, I've got people in school in Austin.
Right.
I have them on my taxes,
Right.
right, because they're my, they're my
Right,
dependents.
right.
So now I've got.
They have a dorm address. If they are living in Texas and they are a student in Texas,
Okay.
they can use their Texas student ID to get a Texas ID, and it's not free. They have to buy it.
So.
They're out of state.
Exactly.
Right. If it were a Texas student going to a Texas university,
Right.
they are entitled to the free Texas ID.
Right. And it's all done to do with out-of-state costs and everything.
Right.
You know, out-of-state fees, out-of-state everything, yeah.
Right, yeah, they hit you and they keep you.
Right. And actually, college students that I know, and my circle of friends, and they don't wanna vote where their parents are, they wanna vote where they go to school, because they're like, okay, this is where I can make a difference, I'm here, I wanna go on whatever, and get involved. If you want to get involved at that stage of their life, then that's what they wanna do.
Right, and what's nice about Motico is we can embed all that information that is unique, weird to each individual state. And we can even, I think a lot of you are probably familiar with Mobilize America, a lot of groups use it to schedule volunteers. We can even integrate Mobilize America to let them volunteer directly under that app. We can stick anything under it that we want. Ultimately, their ballot, who's on your ballot, what's on your ballot, when it is released, goes under Mobilize. And then they can create their ballot. This is who I'm voting for, and then they can share it with all their friends. And then they can fight on it. Then they can fight on it.
So the $100,000 or whatever that the ERA got together, did you get access to that, is that you guys that got that, or, no, you didn't get that, but are you accessible to those people that they got, that list that you sent?
I do their digital, so I provide all their information.
So you have it, you got it.
Right.
They spent the money,
Right,
you got it.
right. I do digital for Black Voters Matter, VA Ratify, ERA, and the Virginia Poor People's Campaign.
Okay.
Right, I do their digital.
We have one more question over here, and then maybe we can have our, you can talk to Andrea.
Seems to me that at least some of the problem getting the 18 to 24-year-old to vote is that many of them, or some of them at least, are students. So they have these problems that you discussed. I know my daughter was one of them. She asked for her absentee voting form to be sent to where she was living, but she wanted to vote for here. It came to us a week before it was due. So I paid $20 to send it overnight down to her in Southern California so she could vote. Now, you know,
Yeah.
how many people are going to do that?
And again, there are going to be many people who would like to but can't, right?
Yeah.
Right. So oftentimes, students don't vote. There really was a reason. And what we're going to have to do in 2020 is figure out those reasons and come up with solutions so that they will be able to vote. So, thank you. I'm going to turn it over to you.